Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Forward Media News. I'm your host, Dave Mead. And tonight we're going to talk. I'm going to chat back and forth about politics, and also I'm going to chat back. I'm going to also play a clip uh, on the JD Vance and Waltz, the two VIP president, the two VIP debates that was actually you won't be able to see the video, but I can actually go live on my phone. Nope, I can't do that because I'm down 15% on my battery. So I'm gonna play a little bit of talk a little bit about policy, politics, and policies, and just to see where we're all at. You know what I'm saying? Because JD Vance won that debate the other day, so he won that debate last night. So that's pretty good. Him winning that debate. So that was awesome. Congratulations to JD Vance winning that debate. Because they favored more about him, so they favored more him than Walsh. So but they also fact checked Walsh on stuff that he said that wasn't true. Um, but there is a lot of things going on, and across this whole country. I mean, there is things that it's horrible. You know what I'm saying? And today and today a big example. I walked into Market Basket today, and it's a big example. We ain't got the the heavy cream milk. We only got the small cons. We don't have the big cons. So people are scrambling in there and grabbing what they normally grabbing what they're getting because of this strike at the dock. You know what I'm saying? So it actually, yeah. So I mean, they want to get more money. They want more money, the jobs and all, and it's a total mess down here. You know what I'm saying? So, at the docks, it's a total mess. And let me see here. Let me read this over again. Let me see here. Let me read this again one more time. Let me actually pull this up. Because let's see here. Let's see what's going on here. Let me see. Let me pull this up. I'll be right. I'll be with you in a minute. Yeah. So it says here. I mean, I talked about this yesterday on my show. So it's like 45,000 dock workers from Maine and Texas going on strike. The nation's bracing for inflation, spikes in supply exports. Warn the U.S. The U.S. is facing 5 billion losses a day. So Americans are now starting down the barrel of other crisis, and this time a strike involving 40,000 dock workers from Maine to Texas, and the results a looming economic catastrophic that could cost the USA staging 5 billion just one day, while Americans bracing for another skyrocketing inflation and service supplies chains interruption. The International Longshoremen Association an ILA representing workers at the 36 part from Maine, Texas, and has made clear that the strike is not only about wages, but it's also about job protection in the face of creeping, creeping automation. And the strike began early Tuesday morning as the contract between the ILA and the United States Maritime Allies and USMX expires without a resolution. So I mean, that's there you go. That's what it is right there. So I mean, if you just go to let me see here. I mean, I shared on my Facebook page. If you go on my Facebook page, you'd find it. I mean, this is a big example. I mean, the union is demanding included a 77% pay raise over the 6 year and fair request, considering the astronomical cost of living increase and under the Biden regime and no automated machinery worker began picking packing at the parts of Philadelphia and parts of Houston, among other locations, signs, uh, carrying signs that read "No work without a fair contract." Exports saying that the LIA strike is the first at these parts since 1977. It could cost the economic up to $5 billion per day, as importance and experts are blocking, according to the USA Today. Well, look at it. I mean, it's. I mean, it's happening. We're going to. I mean, they want 77%. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if they want 77% of cost of 10 years, how could they? How they? I mean, they're asking for too much. I mean, I'm not saying that they don't deserve anything, but they do. You know what I'm saying? But not 77% cost of the 10 years. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, they're not going to get that. I mean, you're going to get a good contract. You know what I'm saying? You probably would get 66, percent over the course of 10 years, but you're not going to get the 77% over the course of 10 years. 66% would be, just enough. So I don't know how much. I don't know how much they're getting. Over there. I mean, I believe that's I believe that's union. So I don't know. I don't know what they're getting over there. So I believe that's union. But getting something like maybe over the course of at 77%. I mean, that's way too much. You're going overkill with that. I mean, I would give them 66%. You know what I'm saying, for the next 10 years. You know what I'm saying, and sign the contract. You know what I'm saying, make a deal. You know what I'm saying. I mean, you can't, leave food. You can't just go on strike and leave food on the dock. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Oh, okay. Well, we're just gonna leave the loads on the dock, and we're gonna go on strike, and we're not gonna do anything. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? Hey, the deal requires if you want the 66% over the next 10 years, you'll get it. You know what I'm saying? But you're not gonna get the 77%. I mean, that's impossible. Okay. That is totally possible to get that over the next 10 years. So that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? This is a big example. I just went to Market Basket today and try to get uh, the the cream. You know what I'm saying, for the coffee. You know what I'm saying. So I've been trying to get that. So they didn't have the big tall ones in in a container. In the what do you call it? In the cartons, they only had the smaller ones. So I mean, I've been speaking to a lot of people on this, and they saying, Well, it affects us. Okay, it's going to affect Stop and Shop, all the Stop and Shop stores, and all the all it's gonna affect us. Okay, because it's going to get worse as it goes along. But I hope it don't. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a sad situation if it did. Okay, it is. It's pretty bad out there. You know what I'm saying? That's why I try to tell everybody go grocery shopping as much as you can, grab as much as you can get because we don't know how long this strike is going to be. Okay, we don't know how long it's going to be. It could last up and after the election, or it could last for a very long time. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So and I'm gonna play a video for about the two VIPs that when they had the debate yesterday, and I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna listen to it.
To 49 in JD Vance's favor. And for folks who watch a lot of these kinds of events and look at the traditional markers of what
JD Vance 51, Walt 49.
Won the debate. He felt more in control, more at ease, and Walt seemed nervous at times, speaking very quickly or speaking in truncated sentences. And of course, there were the gaps, as you mentioned. I'll say also, importantly, that Vance seemed more adept at pivoting towards moderate positions on Republicans' weaknesses. So he presented a softer, gentler Republican Party on things like healthcare and abortion. Whether that was convincing is another question altogether. But for Walt, it was a little bit harder for him to pivot to strengths or to pivot to the median voter when he was caught in unpopular positions for the Democrats. And you saw in that CNN poll, actually, that J.D. Vance improved his favorability across the board with men and women. And for Walt, Democrats have been having some difficulty with men, getting male voters on board, and he improved his standing much more with women than with men. So really didn't make up that ground necessarily.
Now, normally there would be another presidential debate. The top of the ticket gets the last word, but that's not happening this time. So how much more of an impact could this debate have on the race, given we're just 34 days until the election now?
It's a good question. At the end of the day, I don't think that this impacts the race. If it's any measure, if you look at the New York Times this morning, the war in the Middle East has already displaced the debate as the #1 story online. So I think people are going to move on relatively quickly. And regardless of whether you thought J.D. Vance or Tim Walz won, it probably doesn't matter. I mean, one thing that you can take away from the debate is that choosing Walz for Harris came with some opportunity costs. You know, the other people she was considering were Mark Kelly, the popular senator from Arizona, and Josh Shapiro, the popular governor from Pennsylvania. Two states that are going to be fundamentally important to winning this election. In fact, Pennsylvania may be the most important state. So there may be some Democrats wondering this morning how things might be a little bit different, both in the debate and in the polls, had Harris gone with somebody else.
So no debates left, about a month left until election day. What are you watching for now? And could what is happening in the Middle East change the dynamics of this election?
From a starting point, the conflict in the Middle East is not a priority for Americans. That's not to say anything about the human costs of the conflict, but just that Americans are more focused on things like the economy, immigration, abortion, crime and safety at home. But of course, if the United States gets involved in some way where they're involved militarily, there are boots on the ground, or there's a wider war with Iran, of course that could pivot folks' attention and maybe questions of, do I see this person as a leader? Do I see this presidential candidate behind the Resolute desk or in the Situation Room come to the fore a little bit more? There's one other dynamic that I'm really going to be paying attention to, which is that Trump is not popular with the American public. He's underwater by about 10 percentage points. And we've seen a trend that the more Trump himself is in the news, the worse his campaign does, right? Because folks are reminded of the sideshow and sort of the chaos of his presidency. And so is he going to stay at the top of the news this entire remaining month plus? Or will Harris become a bigger part of the story? Or will conflicts in the Middle East become a bigger part of the story? That may give us some indication of how the polls will shift between now and November 5th.
All right, host of the 538 Politics podcast, Galen Drew. Thanks, Galen.
Thank you.
Breaking news, dramatic scenes in the Middle East with Iran firing nearly 200 ballistic missiles at Israel. The vice presidential candidates addressed the crisis at last night's debate, each laying the blame on the other party.
Donald Trump actually delivered stability in the world, and he did it by establishing effective deterrence. People were afraid of stepping out of line. Iran, which launched this attack, has received over $100 billion in unfrozen assets thanks to the Kamala Harris administration.
We had a coalition of nations that had boxed Iran's nuclear program in, the inability to advance it. Donald Trump pulled that program and put nothing else in its place.
For the latest, let's turn to Claudio Lavanga. Good morning, Claudio. Break down the events leading up to this attack.
Good morning, Francis. Well, Iran's Revolutionary Guard said that Tuesday's attack was in retaliation of the killing of Ismail Haniyeh, the political leader of Hamas, who was killed in Tehran last July. Also of the killing recently last Friday of Hassan Nasrallah, the leader of Hezbollah in Beirut, and also of what they said in a statement was the massacring of people in Gaza and in Lebanon. The Iranian mission to the United Nations also called the attack a legal and legitimate response to the threat and the targeting by Israel of Iran's national and foreign interests, as well as of its sovereignty. Now, as you mentioned, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has promised to retaliate against the attack, saying that Iran has made a big mistake and it will pay for it, while the Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian on his X account said that Iran is not seeking war, but warned Israel not to respond, because he said that what happened on Tuesday was only a glimpse of Iran's capabilities and capacity. Well, now, as you mentioned, there are no reported casualties from Tuesday's attack. Apart from a couple of people, the Israeli emergency response said they were wounded by the shrapnel that was falling from the sky after those missiles were intercepted. And perhaps the deadliest attack that took place on Israeli territory on Tuesday was performed and carried out on the ground by two men who started opening fire on bystanders at a tram station in Tel Aviv, killing 6 people and wounding 20 others. Now, this attack was claimed by the Palestinian Islamic Jihad, Francis.
Claudio Lavanga for us. Claudio, thank you.
You heard it here first. SIY is the new DIY, and I promise it's easier. I am definitely not a morning person, but thanks to Alexa, I always feel ready to conquer the day ahead. I simply created a routine in the Alexa app that will start my smart coffee maker and give me motivation to kick off the day. Let me show you just how easy this is. Alexa?
Well, yeah, that was yeah. Well, they confirmed 16 people died, and they confirmed 16 wounded. So they confirmed that. So, I mean, Iranians are trying to tell and plus Russia is over there trying to tell, oh, there's more news.
Search for people still missing. The death toll climbing to at least 166 people across the southeast. The situation remains dire in hard-hit North Carolina. Morgan Norwood is in Asheville for us. Good morning, Morgan.
Robin, good morning to you. We know President Joe Biden is headed to this region today, set to fly over all of this devastation in Helene's path. And I want to give you a live look at our drone, a bird's eye view of the types of scenes that the president will see.
Wow, what a mess over there in California.
Containers tossed over by this raging river, almost like toys. A U-Haul truck back there, more of those box trucks scattered throughout the trees. I mean, the devastation here is extensive, and this area is in desperate need of relief. This morning, the desperation for food, water, and power in the wake of Hurricane Helene reaching a breaking point.
We just need a way in and out of here.
6,300 National Guard troops racing to get aid to those in need, along with an army of volunteers. The death toll skyrocketing. At least 166 people killed across 6 states, and hundreds of people still missing. New images from storm-ravaged areas continue to emerge. In Irwin, Tennessee, ambulances towed away where dozens were rescued from the roof of that hospital. Dump trucks filled with trees and debris. And back here in North Carolina, dramatic dashboard camera footage capturing this moment that a couple narrowly missed being swept up in a landslide in the Blue Ridge Mountains.
Wow, what a
Landslides started
mess.
washing away roads and bridges, making it nearly impossible to get to those in need. You're cut off. You're going to use this. Meanwhile, search and rescue efforts growing more dire. Rod and his wife, Kim Ashby, were inside their home as it floated down the river.
We know that a neighbor saw the house actually hit the bridge, and at that point, the house started to collapse.
A tree separating them. Rod rescued Tuesday night. His wife, Kim,
What a
still
mess.
missing.
Losing your most loved one when you had her in your arms and now you don't. I don't imagine there's much that can compare to that.
She's a breast cancer survivor. It's hard not to hold on to that hope.
And the number of relief agencies here
Wow,
on the
what a
ground
mess.
in Asheville continues to grow by the day. Their operations also expanding. In fact, the group that we featured yesterday here on GMA says that they brought in more than 30,000 cases of water. They also plan to open up more feeding shelters throughout the Asheville area today. We've seen more and more power crews pour in from all over the southeast. But again, that relief is growing. But again, it can't come fast enough for the folks here still, really. Guys.
And thank goodness for all those volunteers. Boy, how they are coming out. Thank you, Morgan. Thank you.
How dangerous are the New York
Very, very, very. They are playing. That was an incredible win on Monday. The sort of win they needed to catapult themselves a little more.
Wow, what a shame, man. What a mess over there.
They scored 8 runs yesterday. Their pitching is lined up. I think the Mets are going to win this series. Pat Murphy did a terrible job yesterday. He took his pitch.
Pat Murray, man, did a terrible job, man, yesterday. The Mets. Wild card, game 1, Mets. DEF. 8-4. 8-4. Score 5 runs, 5 innings, all within a 2 outs.
That and a rivalry. They played 7 games late in the year, and the Mets won 4 of the 7. Yeah. That will be a tremendous NLDS. I think the Mets right now are them and the Padres.
Oh, the Mets.
Stop counting my Braves. Stop counting.
No, the Braves are done. I mean, they did a nice job. They're done.
We didn't score a run yesterday.
Good.
Great.
Yeah, Braves are done. I didn't have it. Listen, I was questioning Barker being pulled from the game as
These
well.
people are funny.
You know what? You're thinking you might need him later on in this series. You never know if you're back against the wall. But I agree with you. That was the wrong decision. I would tell you, they're like the cardiac kids. I've been very impressed with the Mets. I can't wait for them to win this series because them and the Phillies are going to be special. Doggy, we're going to have to reach out to our buddy, former Governor Chris Christie, who was sitting right behind
Former Governor Chris Christie.
And listen, if anybody could get us some passes to the suite, Doggy, to hang out for the Mets game, I mean, it's Governor Christie right there. So, Governor Christie, you watching? We'll be in town next week when the Phillies and the Mets end up going up against one another. Work it out, my brother.
Also this morning, the port strike is entering its 2nd day. Tens of thousands of dock workers are on picket lines from Maine to Texas. Shipping up and down the East Coast has been brought to a standstill. For the very latest, we turn to NBC's senior business correspondent, Christine Romans. So where do things stand now?
They're still far apart here. So this is still entering the 2nd day here of all of this port shutdown from Maine all the way down to Texas, as you said. And it's pay. It's one of the big sticking points here. The union says it has rejected a 50% pay raise offer from the shipping consortium. They want something bigger than that. They're now asking $5 an hour every year for the next 6 years is what the
increase.
Is what the dock workers want. But it's not just that.
$5 an hour for the next 6 years.
Taken over by technology and robots. Essentially, they want big protection so that their jobs are still there as this industry.
$5 an hour for over the course of 6 years.
The White House urging the shippers to come to the table and help share their profits. So the White House saying it's not really going to step in and break the strike, but seems like the language is leaning on the side of the dock workers at this point in terms of what the White House is messaging right now.
All right, Christine, thank you.
What a mess.
The power of film is connection.
It can change the world in so many ways.
The power of film is to create conversation. Film is empathy building.
Wow, what a
It really
mess.
gives you immersive windows into worlds that you wouldn't otherwise access.
It's about the smiles, the sadness, the greatness, the triumphs, and sometimes just the regular days. It's the stories that people tell about them.
Well, I also want to talk. I also want to talk about that the the guy the guy that's been going around cutting everybody's tires. And they finally caught him, and thank God that they did. Oh yes, so thank God that they caught him. I'm trying to let me see. I'm trying to find it on my page here. So I'm trying to find it on my page. Oh, Fall River Man. Let's see. Wait a minute. Let me see if I can actually find it a little bit better. Yeah, he did. They did catch him. And thanks to the Fall River Police Department Major Crimes Division, they did catch him, and they arrested him. So they arrested him. So he's doing court. Fall River police have apprehended an alleged serial tire slasher after a 2-week search. Police said that the Latino survivor, 41 of Fall River, was taken into custody on Tuesday by members of the Major Crimes Division. So I want to thank the Fall River Police Department and the Major Crimes Division for bringing this guy into custody, because this guy played a major play in the cutting all these tires and stuff too. So we're gonna go back and we're gonna listen to more videos on what's going on around the whole nation in politics. So please listen to it.
Class of experts was right. There's multiple kinds of experts that you got to listen to arrive at truth. And I think Donald Trump, in selecting the kinds of people he has around him, has demonstrated he's willing to do that.
Vivek, if Trump wins, and I think the debate last night moves him another large step towards a victory. If he wins and you go into the government, I hope you clean out some of these so-called experts. I've lived with these over 45 years in my twice terms in the government. I mean, the experts have biases, Vivek. That's what I'm getting at. It isn't the data. It's the bias that you have to watch out for. And I think we ought to have, let's say, honest experts or an honest bureaucracy, or even better, Vivek, a smaller bureaucracy.
Yeah, I would say non-existent bureaucracy at its best, Larry, because the path to truth, it actually runs through free speech and open debate.
I'm going to go get my power bank. I'll be back.
Exchange of ideas. That's what the scientific method actually depends on, is a kind of intellectual humility. The idea that no person, no matter how many letters they have after their name, has actual all-knowing knowledge. Nobody's God. That's what actually the pursuit of science and the pursuit of understanding of knowledge actually depends on. The trap we've fallen into in the last several years in the country, culturally, is believing that somehow trusting the science, the capital S science, means you're trusting some human being who themselves is actually flawed. Be that Anthony Fauci or the people who proclaimed in favor of school lockdowns that we now regret. The same thing goes for a lot of our economic policies as well. The same goes, by the way, Larry, you know this well, for the so-called expert class at the Federal Reserve. It's like a drunken patron at a bar, throwing a dart at 2 arrows at the same time, badly missing on both, inflation and unemployment, instead focusing on dollar stability, which was actually the fashionable thing to do in the 1970s, long before you got the expert class at the Fed. So economic policy, monetary policy, health policy, one thing we've learned is we need more open debate and accountability rather than an expert class that's insulated from accountability. And believe me, if I have anything to do with it, Larry, you have my word, that's exactly what we're going to restore in this country, is getting rid of that managerial class and reviving actual accountability at every layer of our government. And that is something we're missing today.
Well, we're rooting for you. Everybody's rooting for you to do that. You know, Vivek, just on the debate, one more shot. I mean, I thought J.D. Vance was so smart. Look, what did he do? He picked a handful of issues, just 3 or 4 issues, key issues. I mean, inflation, incomes, affordability, immigration, and 3.5 years or 1,400 days, and kept talking about them and coming back to them and repeating them. Those are the issues that people care about. And I think Waltz was just tied up in knots. He didn't know what to do with it. And if they disagreed, JD would say, well, yeah, maybe you have a point, which is a nice, friendly thing to say, but you should have done it 1,400 days ago. That kind of stuff. I mean, I want to say in some sense it was Reagan-esque, because he only took a couple of points and just kept hammering away. That's what the Gipper used to do.
Yeah, well, look, I think the reality is every time we have a policy-focused debate, our side actually wins. I'm incredibly proud of JD. He did a great job of being an outstanding messenger last night. But it's also a lesson for us that we're on the right side of these policy questions from economic policy, how to combat inflation, how to actually end the rampant wave of crime in this country, how to solve the illegal mass immigration crisis into this country. And even in a deeper sense, Larry, I spoke at Liberty University to about 8,000 young people earlier this morning, how to revive national pride in this country. We're on the winning side of those issues. And so the more we're focused on our own substantive vision for the country, the better off our movement and our party and our country is going to be. I think that's one of the lessons we've learned time and again. I think that's going to serve us well between now and November 5th. And if we stick to our vision for the country, I think this shouldn't even be a close election. I think we should win not just by a little bit, but potentially in a unifying landslide of the kind that the Gipper delivered, Reagan delivered in 1980 and 1984. I think that's possible. I don't think that's out of reach. And I think that would be good for the future of the country. That's what I'm rooting for and working hard to make sure we actually see happen.
All right, Vivek Ramaswamy, thank you, sir. As always, we love your wisdom. Please come back soon.
Jax Taylor gives Brittany Cartwright full custody of son Cruz in his new divorce filing. 1 month after Brittany Cartwright filed to legally end their 5-year marriage, the Vanderpump Rules alum agreed in court documents obtained by E! News October 2nd to give his estranged wife full legal and physical custody of their 3-year-old son Cruz. In the filing, handwritten and submitted on September 26th, Jax, whose real name is Jason Couchy, did not tick the box requesting child visitation time. He did check the other box under the child support section, but did not provide any specific details per instructions. Furthermore, he listed a different date of separation than the one Brittany put down in her divorce docs. While his ex said the couple broke up on January 24th in her paperwork, Jax wrote down September 26th, the date of his divorce filing, as their date of separation. E! News has reached out to Jax and Brittany's rep for comment on the filing, but has not yet heard back. Brittany recently spoke to E! News at the 2024 Daytime Beauty Awards in Los Angeles and gave an update on how things are between her and her ex. She said at the September 30th event, "We're okay, we're co-parenting. That's the most important thing. Other than that, it is what it is." Brittany added that despite their many relationship issues, she and her estranged husband always keep things cordial for the sake of their 3-year-old son, saying, "Obviously, we're both going to put him first. It's going to be fine no matter what, because we both love him so much. So even if Jax and I are fighting, it's not going to ever come between Cruz. It's never going to be a thing." Back in August, Brittany spoke out about her decision to finally file legal papers to end their 5-year marriage. She said on the August 30th episode of her and Jax's When Reality Hits podcast,
"Many have said online they think this has been a publicity stunt for the show or to garner ratings, and it's the furthest thing from that. My decision to file wasn't made lightly or quickly. It's taken me many, many years to get to this point where I've gained enough courage and strength to do what was best for me. Get myself out of a toxic relationship and ultimately see my worth. It's been very difficult, but I'm stronger than ever. And my motivation is my son, my Cruzy, who deserves a happy and healthy mommy."
Hi, I'm stylist Mimi Cottrell. Let's talk shoe trends for fall. Animal print is an additive to make any outfit fun and quirky, from runaways to retail. I really like the ballet flat for this season because it's not only comfortable and feminine, I think it elevates any look, and it's also very professional. Court sneakers are everywhere this season. What I love about court sneakers is the range of colors. Every girl.
All right. So I had to shut that off a bit, okay? Because I really want to talk about more things. Vance's victory is a past debate. So I wanted to talk about some more stuff. And what I'm going to do is I had to go get my charger and charge my phone. So I really want to talk about some more things. Let's see what I can actually talk about now. Yeah. So let me see here. What can I talk about over here? So former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is commenting on the vice presidential debate. Well, you know what? Too bad. I'm saying, hey, she was the cause of all this. Man convicted for court 25 different indictment charges him with multiple child incidents and assault. Wow, Jesus. When was this? This was posted. I don't even know. Governor Healy is to sign the emergency preamble putting Massachusetts' new gun laws into effect immediately. Trump advanced debate performance reconfirm my choice. Florida police arrested a serial breaks in a suspect after allegedly whipping a dog. You see that? Yeah, Florida police arrested serial breaks in a suspect after he allegedly whipped his dog. Fall River WBZM, Fall River police arrested a man for allegedly whipping his dog with a leash. And police said that the man is also responsible for service of recent breaks in to a local business. Police spokesman by Sergeant Moses Pereira and then said that the Major Crimes Division had been investigating recently break-ins and identifying Alex Botello, 41, as the suspect in these crimes. On October 1st, officers responded to the residence on Stafford Road for a report of an unwanted man at the location. He said Botello was arrested at the scene on a charge and animal cruelty after evidence was produced of him allegedly whipping a dog with a leash. The investigation into the break-in also led to him being charged with 3 counts of breaking and entering in a nighttime and 3 counts of larceny from building. The charges are in connection with these break-ins on September 20th to the Dunkin' on Rhode Island Avenue and the Golden Food Mart on Rodman Street, September 24th. Pierce and Botello has also had an arrest warrants for shoplifting, larceny under 1,200, breaking and entering in the vehicles, and boat and the daytime for felonies. So these are the two that, I mean, this is crazy, man. I mean, you know, I'll tell you something, man. I seen a lot of things in my life. I mean, not like this. You know what I'm saying? And it's actually crazy. You know what I'm saying? It is. You know, people are not, you know, there's people out there are not nice. And there's also people out there that like to, I mean, we got a lot of things going on in this whole country. Okay, we do. And not only across the nation, but but in our local politics too. We got a lot of things going on between the state and local politics. We got stuff going on too, and it's it seems like it's not an end. It doesn't come to an end. You know what I'm saying? It just it's like a vicious cycle. Okay, it just keeps on going. You know what I'm saying? And that's all. You know what I'm saying? It's like a vicious cycle. So, but I just want to let you know that JD Vance 51% over Waltz in that VIP debate. So yeah, Waltz had 49. Waltz had 49. JD Vance 51%. And that was a pretty decent debate last night, and and it was pretty good. I mean, uh, JD Vance didn't come out swinging. Uh, uh, Waltz did not come out swinging. I mean, it was just like a friendly debate back and forth. You know what I'm saying? Between both candidates. You know what I'm saying? So that was pretty good. I mean, that was pretty awesome. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and and just like the analyst says that, you know, um, I mean, sometimes you expect, okay, well, two candidates coming out swinging, okay, but they didn't though. Okay, JD came out calmly, Waltz came out calmly, and they started going on with the with the questions. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, and ABC News did a fact check, and that was it. So they did a fact check on Waltz, and that was it. And they found that Waltz was, slightly lying, you know what I'm saying, about things. So I mean, it's it's not looking good for Harris, I'll tell you that right now. So it's not looking good for Waltz either. So I mean, JD Vance won that debate yesterday, the 51%. So I mean, yeah, it was close though. It was right there. You know what I'm saying? It was Waltz had 49, but JD had 51. It was close. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, you know, but no, I always thought that, hey, JD's going to come out swinging at Waltz, but Waltz was going to come out swinging at JD. But guess what? It didn't happen. There was some agree, some disagree. You know what I'm saying? And and on and on and on with the both candidates. So that was a pretty interesting debate last night. You know what I'm saying? Oh, hey, you know what I'm saying? It was awesome, and I'm glad that the two candidates could get along with each other. You know what I'm saying? And and talk about the issues. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, and the people of New York City the people of New York City favored more towards J.D. Vance. You know what I'm saying? They favored more towards him. You know what I'm saying? Because they liked his policy. You know what I'm saying? So they favored more towards him. So I already knew that was going to happen. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know it was going to happen, but I was predicting it. That I was actually predicting that was going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, J.D. Vance did a pretty good, it did pretty good, and so did Waltz. You know what I'm saying? And they both shook hands right after the debate and everything, too. So, and that's what you're supposed to do. You shake each other's hand. Hey, all right, well, you know what? You're a better man than I am. So you shake hands and you be friends, and that's it. Because, you never know if you need a job. You know what I'm saying? So, so it's nice to, it's nice to be nice. You know what I'm saying? So J.D. Vance came out with the 51%. He won. So but I don't know if this is the last debate between the two VIPs, but because of we have next month to go for the new to see who won the presidential debate. So, I'm just saying, I'm predicting that Trump's going to win. So I'm predicting it. So I'm predicting Trump's going to win the presidential debate. So I'm predicting it. I don't know, but I'm predicting it. So, but like I said, it's so I'm predicting it. So and I could be wrong or I could be right. You know what I'm saying? I could be wrong, I could be right. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Just predicted. But JD Vance did a good job, and and he did a good job, and that was it. And they picked it, and that was it. So let's see let's see what else is threading across this whole nation on Twitter right now. I like to go see what's going on Twitter. Let's see here. Donald Trump news. I want to see how many of you honestly think that President Trump won the 2022 election. Did you believe he did? Yes. I believe he did. Kamala Harris is finally making her making her way into Georgia. So Boston, Mass, and the city is known for its historical significant in America, freedom, and recent interaction between Boston police sergeant and a citizen has sparked a debate over the boundaries of free speech and city ordinance. Wow, here it is.
We're going to remove the flag. So here's a copy of them. Okay. All right. So.
Wow.
Okay. So you're not going to comply then? Okay. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you one last. I am the sergeant. No, that's the way it is. You're not going to comply. I'm going to place you under arrest for failing to comply and under chapter 272, section 53. You can go ahead and place your hands behind your back. You're going to comply or no? All right, take them down. Take them down.
Wow, that is awful. Okay, what War Boston's doing? Oh my God, innocent involving a citizen peaceful showing protest, holding Trump flags outside. Boston police officer, thanks to Will doing that. Okay, thanks to her doing that. What a scumbag she is. okay? Because she doesn't want people to hold flags outside, okay? What a scumbag, okay? She is, okay? You know, but you know something though. But you know, hey, you can't hold flags outside. I mean, that's people's freedoms. People, Mayor Wool and Boston Mayor Wool can, she's taking everybody's freedom away over there in Boston. Okay, she is, and that's a shame. Having Boston police officers arrest Trump supporters. What a shame. Okay, unbelievable. And this is what's threatened in politics. Breaking news. Polls are showing that following the last night debate, more Republicans are considering switching their vote than Democrats, and this is huge. So Trump is actually posted this on Truth Social. MS wants you to believe that 100 years that Jimmy Carter is excited to vote for Kamala. Yeah, no way. That's all a lie. You know, I mean, all these other things that they said that Kamala Harris, Kamala Harris though. I mean, for 4 years as a VIP vice president, okay, and all of a sudden she's down here doing all these things. You know what I'm saying? She hasn't done nothing in the 4 years that she was VP, and people are saying, oh no, vice presidents they sit, in the what do you call it, and behind the scenes. No, vice presidents have to get out there and serve the president of the United States. That's when if the president of the United States cannot get out there, okay, if the president of the United States, okay, can't get out there. Okay, that's when the vice president has to go. Oh, and okay, well, I cannot go out there. Can you? Because I have some other places to go, and the vice president has to go out there. So, and of all these 4 years that Kamala Harris was vice president, she didn't do a thing at all. She didn't do nothing because something. I never saw her in the news. Okay, the only thing I saw her was making her little picture look good on standing behind Joe Biden. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, she hasn't been in the border for 4 years. She hasn't been in California for 4 years, and all of a sudden now that she's running for president, now all of a sudden she wants to go do all these things. You know what I'm saying? So why didn't she do all these things within the 4 years? And now she's out there doing this again. Oh my God, man. What a joke she is, man. You know, I mean, Waltz too. You know what I'm saying? Well, there you go. You got the boat clowns over here. You know, I mean, it's ridiculous. Prosecutors have let out a new evidence. Donald Trump. I don't want to hear that. That's bullshit. Yeah. I am old enough now to remember that Trump. Donald J. Trump, breaking news, and prosecutors Latino James of disband. So we are here in New York City. His hotel is launching the I am a veteran, not a sucker loser, but two or more of come to stay tuned. Veterans, yeah, come on, man. Veterans against Trump, man. You people are nuts. You know what I'm saying? Trump loves veterans, man. So, I mean, Tim has always held, well, how is it fair that you pay your taxes every year? Ah, come on. Look at this, man. These people are nuts. Election integrity. Arizona Democrats was an incident to mistake about a federal last month, and the events to discover more than $70,000 in liable voters on the roll, over 218,000 at the last count, but do not have any idea how many of these voters who haven't provided proof or show more. Wow. Republican voters ages. Tim Ray is calling him an American Hitler. J.D. Vance, that is not true. Tim Ray, that is. And then you kiss. These people, man. My daughter is thinking Vance is. Man, you got some pretty nasty things going on here on Facebook, man. Out on social media, especially Twitter. Especially Twitter X. Only 13 million people is live in Pennsylvania. John Rich, who is your got to watch him. I am hearing similar things from my liberal consequences on the daily, and this meshes are waking up for it real. Oh, I mean, hey, you know something? I mean, they're just putting stuff out there. It's this clip is incredible. Brian is just dropping the BOMB on the set for the Breakfast Club when challenges by the host that Kamala isn't the cause. She is the cause of this already. Jesus, man. Why is everybody sticking up for Kamala Harris? Because why is everybody sticking up for Kamala Harris? Because she's a woman? I mean, come on, man. Nobody's sticking up for her because she has a shitty policy. I'll tell you that right now. Her policies are no good at all, man. Yeah, no, her policies, man. Her policies, wanted to fund the police. I mean, look at her past, man. I'm telling you. Go search her past. Go look up her past when she was Attorney General. Matter of fact, I'm going to do that right now because I'm very interested in that right now. So I'm going to use AI, artificial intelligence, to do this. What did Kamala Harris did when she was Attorney General? Let's see. I'm interested. Oh, I'm just checking. I don't want to read that out. So, Kamala Harris put a guy in jail for a very long time. Okay. Matter of fact, she put 2 guys in jail for nothing, for crimes that they didn't commit. So I'm gonna type something in here. Kamala Harris, during her time as a prosecutor, later as California Attorney General, has faced criticism for some of her decisions related to criminal justice, but the claims that she put a 2 guys in jail for nothing is more complicated. One of the more well-known cases involving a man's named George GING, who was convicted of sexual abuse. Critics argue that Harris's office opposed his appeal, even though the key evidence favorable to a gag, such as a witness and credibility issue, was not disclosed during her direct, but him in jail. She was a California Attorney General during this appeal, not originally a prosecutor in this case. Harris has also been criticized for her role in other cases, such as upholding wrongful convictions. Wrongful convictions. Look at this, man. Wow. Wow. Upholding wrongful convictions and resisting effort for appeals, which some have seen as contributing to miscarriages of justice, that said many of these decisions were making or involving multiple lawyers of decisions making. Wow. Holy mackerel. Oh, this is crazy. Wow. I just looked it up, and people have been telling me this, and you know something, and I just fact checked what people tell me, and it did come up. Holy mackerel. Yeah, Kamala Harris, during her time as a prosecutor, later as a California Attorney General, has faced criticism for some of her decisions related to a criminal justice, but the claims that she put a guy in jail for nothing is more complicated. One of the more well-known cases involving a man named George GING, who was convicted of sexual abuse. Critics argue that Harris's office opposed his appeal, even thought a key evidence favorable to GING, such as a witness credibility issue, was not disclosed during this trial. However, it wasn't Harris who directly put him in jail. She was a California Attorney General during his appeals, not the original prosecutor in this case. Harris has also been criticized for her role in other cases, such as upholding wrongful convictions, resisting effort for appeals, which some have seen as a contributing but miscarried of justice. That said, many of these cases are legally complex of involving multiple lawyers of decisions making. Wow, this is crazy. Wow, I'm gonna save this one. Matter of fact, you know something? I'm gonna post this one up, man. This is nuts. Wow. Oh, this is crazy. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna look up again and see what else this crazy woman had done in the past. Wow, my God. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, this wow. I'm gonna look it up again and jeez. Oh, I am. What? Oh, let's see. Senator. As a U.S. Senator from California in 2017 and 2021, Kamala Harris had a broad and peaceful career. Some of her key actions included: one, Judiciary Committee's work. Harris served on the Senate Judiciary Committee, where she became known for her sharp questioning, especially during the confirmation hearing of Supreme Courts. Just Brett Kavanaugh and Amy Coney Barrett. Second, advocacy on criminal justice reforms. Harris pushed for reform on criminal justice co-responding bills like the First Step Act, which is such as a reduced mandatory minimum sentence for nonviolent drug offense. Three, focusing on immigration. She was a strong advocate for immigration rights, but opposing the Trump administration policies, especially families separations at the U.S.-Mexico border. And Harris supported the DREAM Act and the Constitution of the DACA, deferred action for childhood arrival, and healthcare legislation. Harris was support of Medicare for all, advocacy for more than progressives approach by healthcare reform. Five, civil rights advocacy. As a senator, Harris introduced and supports legislation aimed at protecting voters' rights and advance radical equality and addressing this systematic racism in law enforcement, and environmental policies that co-sponsored by Green New Deal. I don't like that Green New Deal, and other legislations focusing on combating climate. I don't believe in climate change and promoting environmental justice. Works on the Senate Intelligence Committee. Harris played an active role in the investigation relating to Russia interference in the U.S. elections. Advocate for stronger election security measures. 3 efforts, along with her advocacy for women's rights and social justice, helped solidify her Republican in the progressive Senate. Well, I mean, I mean, these policies right here, okay. Some of these policies right here, I mean, the STEP Act, I don't agree with. Okay, I mean, I'm just saying the STEP Act, I don't agree with. The one Judiciary Committee that she was on, I mean, I kind of like that one. Mexico border, civil rights. I mean, environmental policy. I mean, Intelligence Committee. Harris played an executive role in that. Russia interference, strong election security. I say I like the long. I like the long. I like the long, strong election security measures. I like that. I mean, but some of these policies are like from focusing on immigration, immigrants' rights, opposing, so 3 and all the way up to down to 7. I mean, I like the strong. I like the strong election security. I mean, I would agree. I would actually agree with that. You know what I'm saying? Because we do need strong. We do need a strong election. But I mean, some of these these policies that I just found of hers. I mean, it's all mixed in there. You know what I'm saying? So it's all mixed in there. But I'm gonna look up Trump's policies and see what he's got. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna look up his policies. I'm gonna read his policies too. Let me see Trump's policies. Let's see what policies he has. Donald Trump's policies during his presidency and his ongoing political campaign has centered on the several keys of them included. 1. Immigration. Trump focuses heavily on the border security and reducing legal immigration. His administration implemented the remains in the Mexico policy such site to build a wall along the U.S.-Mexico border and opposing travel bans and several primarily Muslims country. He has also phased cracking down on sanctuary cities. 2. Economic policy. Trump economic agenda included tax cuts, declaration, and trade policies that the Tax Cut and Jobs Act of 2017 significantly lowers corporate taxes rates and individual income tax. He also advocates for rent regarnishing trade agreement, most notably implementing tariffs of China and reviewing the NAFT into the UMCA, United States of Mexico Canada Agreement. 3. Healthcare. Trump repeatedly such to repeal the Affordable Care Act. The Obamacare efforts to fill repeals it were unsuccessful. He promotes short-term health insurance plans and tries to reduce prescription drugs prices, or often framing his effort as promoting compensation and lowering costs for consumers. Foreign policy. Trump America First contrains improvising, reducing the U.S. involvement in international conflict, pressuring allies to increase their defense spending, especially in NATO, and garnishing international agreements he reviews as unaffordable to the U.S., such as Iran nuclear deals. His administration also broken the Abraham Accord, which normalized relations between Israel and several Arab nations. 5. Law and order. Trump consistently emphasizes law and order, especially during his response to civil unrest following protests over police violence in 2020. He advocated for stricter laws enforcement, criticizes movements like defunding the police and nominating conservative judges to federal courts, including 3 Supreme Court justices. 6. Energy. Trump energy policies focusing on declarations and expanding the U.S. Energy production, particularly to fossil fuel like oil, coal, and natural gas. He withdraws the U.S. from the Paris Climate Agreement and roll back many Obamacare environmental regulations. 7. Military and defense. Trump increases military spending and focuses on modernizing the U.S. military. He sought to reduce Trump for the deployment aboard and push for another NATO country to contribute more to defense. These policies form the backbone of his presidency, and many are central of his ongoing political messaging. How closely are you following this last campaign development? Wow. Yeah, this is his policy right here. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, Trump's got a pretty good policy there. You know what I'm saying? More than what I could say for Kamala Harris. You know what I'm saying? His policy is, his policies are strong. You know what I'm saying? Trump's policies are strong. So, but like I said, I encourage everybody to get out there, vote November 5th, vote for Donald J. Trump for president of the United States. We want to bring him back to the White House because, we do need a businessman in there. We do. You know what I'm saying? We do need a businessman in there. You know what I'm saying? That's not going to be bought. You know what I'm saying? So Trump will never be bought. So we need Trump in there to straighten this whole country out again. You know what I'm saying? So we do. Because if Trump, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, okay? I'm gonna be totally straight up. If Trump don't get in, if Trump is not in there, and Harris is, I'm predicting that we're going to go straight into World War III. I'm predicting it. So, and it's, yes, I'm predicting it. So I want to say have a good night, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to those videos. I'm sorry that you couldn't see it. I wish you could, but I need to get another. I need to get another camera for this TV over here, so that way I can switch the video over, so that way you guys can actually watch it. So. But sorry I had to get up back and forth and everything, and I had to get my charger and stuff too. So why I was doing that, you guys were listening to all around the world, politic and everything else too. So, but hey, take care, everybody. And this is Dave Mead, Forward Media News, always coming out with always talk about political, give you the insight on what's going on. In Israel is versus Iran, So Russia wants to Israel to pull out of So there is there is a big mess going on too. So Russia wants Israel to pull out of another country. I forgot what the country is. So but we'll talk more tomorrow night when I have more freedom. So we'll talk tomorrow night. So again, keep you up to date on the election. As the election is getting closer, so November 5th, get out there, vote for Donald J. Trump for president of the United States. We do need him, and we do need him. And I want to say congratulations to Vance, JD Vance, for winning that debate last night. Hey, congratulations, JD Vance, for 51% of the votes. Of the vote that you out of that debate and every other debate. So congratulations to that. So everybody take care. This is David Mead, Forward Media News. I'll see you guys tomorrow night, because I like to actually talk about this stuff. So take care, everybody. Have a great night, and I will talk to you guys later.